So we're going to put this out there right. I'm going to say it again. Fasted cardio against fed cardio, when calories and exercise are equated, whether you're in that bodybuilding, well, let's just say if you're more athletic, and this is where the studies are showing us, and there are some very marked studies. They're not hard to find. Yeah. Just get on the internet, look for fasted against fed cardio for fat loss. There's several of them out there.
Schoenfeld has one.
Brad Schoenfeld is one of the probably the premier guys sort of in this industry. As far as I'm concerned, he's been published many, many, many times, and he's got some buddies out there that do a really good job as well with that stuff. Basically, what these studies are showing us is that, yes, you may be burning more body fat, or excuse me, let me stop right there. I just messed it up. You may be burning more fat for fuel during fasted cardio as compared to fed cardio, but you are not going to lose more body fat over time against the person that did fed cardio versus fasted cardio.
Yep.
When calories and exercise are equated. So I know I messed that up at the beginning, but the bottom line is neither is superior to the other. And there's some things that I think people should know, kind of, even if you're in layman's terms, to make this make sense. Why does that matter? Well, here's why it matters. Because you have to get out of your head that if I'm burning body fat, or if I'm burning fat, as a fuel source during exercise or throughout the day, does not mean I'm burning body fat.
Absolutely.
I'm burning calories, and I'm burning those calories in the form of fat.
Instead of carbohydrate.
Or instead of protein. Ultimately, it's
and these things are bouncing back and forth. It's not like, like everyone wants to be like, I'm either keto or this. Like, dude, they're going back and forth depending on the anaerobic and aerobic cellular oxygen, right? Like, do I have enough oxygen in the cells? They transfer, right? So it's constantly going back and forth.
There are a lot of variables that go into this. What's the intensity? How fed or how much stored fuel do I have on board from my, from
previous
meals, right? How much rest did I get the night before? When we talk about insulin sensitivity, that's kind of where that conversation came up with Steve the other day. We were talking about sleep and insulin sensitivity. So again, just because you're using fat for fuel doesn't mean you're burning body fat, right? The body doesn't work like that. We've said this before. If you ate donuts last night at 2 a.m. after the bar closed down, after, down in however many drinks or beers, my brother's in the studio today. He's fist pumping right out. It's one of his favorite pastimes.
Glazed or maple? Fuck yeah.
Maple bars all day. Maple bars with the bacon sprinkled on the top.
Oh my God, they're the best.
Gross.
Dude, the bacon bars.
If you're doing that at 2 a.m. and on the treadmill at 6 a.m., right?
What? You're not tasting those calories?
Yeah, the guilt is just set in, right? And you're just like, oh, fuck, I've got to get to the gym, right? And you've got your wearable strapped on. You're looking at the little graph on the treadmill that says, this is my fat burning zone. And you're watching your heart rate, and, your Apple thing is telling you one thing.
You're Googling how much a maple bar is.
You got your Whoop
calories.
on the other hand that's telling you your recovery levels at shit 0 and all this stuff. You are not burning the maple bars and the alcohol on the treadmill the next morning. You're not doing that. It never ceases to amaze me how many of those conversations now I have a year with people still that don't get that. They're watching their watch and thinking about dinner or the party that they were at over the weekend or whatever, and they're trying to negate this. The body doesn't work like that.
Obviously, we want to burn calories in exercise, but if you look at a standard resistance training exercise, it burns less than cardiovascular exercise, right, in calories. But it does not burn more body fat, right? Over time, we build muscle mass. We have EPOC, right? We're burning calories for
an extended period of time
after the exercise, right? Whereas cardio, it stops. Right, where we burn calories, it stops. Where in a resisted training profile, we continually are burning calories over time. And we're also hopefully building muscle to increase our daily burn, just sitting, right? Yeah. Just sitting. So we don't have to do all of this extra work, right? The cardio should really come in when I need a little bit of tweak, right? I'm trying to lose a little bit of extra body fat. When we're specifically talking about body fat, to be honest with you, when I look at cardio, it's purely for cardiovascular health and training the heart. So you start looking at your
totally
zones
different game
and programming and all that stuff. For me, like we talked about, I can ramp that up when I need to for fat loss, but everything I do for fat loss is maintained from the calories.
From the nutrition, the ins and the outs.
Bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a really solid point. So I want to make another point, and that is we are not saying that you cannot lose body fat by doing fasted cardio.
No, I prefer doing my cardio in the morning because it gets me ready for the day. It's just, how is your day set up?
So there's some considerations. We'll talk about those. So the last thing I want to say about this is, let's just going back to the science. Here's something that's very interesting. Okay, so when you do fasted cardio, and this is what the study has shown us, when you do fasted cardio against fed cardio, and again, this is when calories and exercise are equated, diet's equated, in the most controlled study in some of the most controlled studies that we know you can actually do. So, and there have been some done specifically on, or one that I'm aware of on bodybuilders, but specifically.
Was it the women?
It was women. It was female bodybuilders. Yeah. So, but going back, so if I'm not saying you cannot lose body fat doing fasted cardio, but when you do your fasted cardio, and when you do your fasted cardio, yes, you probably will burn more fat for fuel during that time. But what's going to happen is that just means you burn less fat for fuel later in the day. Your body will switch to more of a carbohydrate-rich fuel system in order to get you through the day. And conversely, if I go into my cardio fed, I'll probably be burning more carbohydrate as my fuel source. But conversely, later in the day, I will use more fat for fuel for the rest of my activity. Again, when calories and exercise are equated. So basically what we're talking about here is it's 6 in one and half dozen in the other. You choose whatever the fuck you want to do. I've said it 100 times. It's America. Do whatever you want.
Because it's not superior.
But it is not. It just doesn't. It doesn't.
The caloric deficit is the biggest thing here.
It's not. Again, fasted cardio is not king to fed cardio, and so that's the takeaway.